Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. National Assembly was informed today that government will enhance tax to GDP ratio by 4% in the next 3 years. Army Chief says we all need to fulfill our responsibilities for the success of difficult initiatives taken by the government. Afghan President says relationship between Pakistan and Afghanistan will strengthen with the passage of time. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred one more Kashmiri youth in Budgam district today. Bahrain has recalled its envoy to Iraq after protesters stormed its embassy in Baghdad. Annual summit of the group of 20 nations is underway in Osaka to discuss issues pertaining to global economy. And now the news in detail. Minister of State for Finance Hamad Azhar has said the PTI government retired $9.5 billion of debt this year. He was responding to the points of the opposition members in the National Assembly today. He said debt liabilities stood at 31,000 billion rupees in June last year. He said we have also added civilian expenditures by 5%, while that of the Prime Minister House has been cut by 12%. He also clarified that no new tax has been levied on ghee. Earlier, speaking on the finance bill, opposition members criticized the economic policies of the government. They described the budget anti-people and anti-growth, which they said will bring poverty, unemployment, and darkness to the country. Meanwhile, a minister in charge for finance, Hamad Azhar, moved the Finance Bill 2019 to give legal effect to the budgetary proposals for the next fiscal year. The House has now started the process of approving the Finance Bill 2019 to give legal effect to the budgetary proposals for the next fiscal year. Earlier, responding to points of opposition members, Minister of State for Revenue Ahmad Hassar said the present government is taking the economy towards stability. He said previous governments are responsible for the current economic situation of the country. He said the previous government left behind the circular debt of 11.40 billion rupees, while we have enhanced the revenue of both power and gas sectors by launching successful drive against their pilferage. Hamad Azhar said tax to GDP ratio witnessed a growth of 2% over the last 10 years. He said PTI government will enhance the tax to GDP ratio by 4% in the next 3 years. He said we have also given a 5-year economic plan in the budget, and we will also reduce debt to GDP ratio. Meanwhile, in a statement, Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Information, Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan, said the budget for Prime Minister office has been reduced in the new fiscal year as part of austerity drive. She said an amount of 863 million rupees has been earmarked in 2019-20 budget for expenditure of Prime Minister House as compared to 986 million rupees in the previous budget. Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan said the Prime Minister even saved 32% funds in the previous year's budget and submitted that amount in the Treasury. Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa says Pakistan is going through a difficult economic situation and we all need to fulfill our responsibilities so that difficult initiatives taken by the government succeed. Addressing a seminar on Pakistan's economy, challenges and way forward at National Defence University, Islamabad today, he said it is time to be a nation. According to a press release issued by ISPR, the Army Chief said the armed forces played their part by voluntarily foregoing annual increase in defense budget, and this is the only step we are taking for the improvement of economy. He said there cannot be any sovereignty in the absence of economic sovereignty. General Qamar Javed Bajwa highlighted Pakistan's efforts for restoring regional peace that will lead to better trade connectivity. He said for our region to develop, we need to have greater regional connectivity amongst all neighbors. In his address on the occasion, Advisor to Finance Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh dilated upon reasons which resulted in increasing these challenges. He countered perpetual security threats, inconsistent economic policies, poor economic discipline, and lack of will to take difficult decisions in the past as major contributors to the economic situation the government is facing today. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. Punjab Governor Chaudhry Mohammad Sarwar has said that friendship between Pakistan and Afghanistan will usher in new horizon between the two countries. He said this during a luncheon in honor of Afghan President Ashraf Ghani and their delegation in Lahore today. The Punjab governor said that time has come that both the countries should jointly combat terrorism and its facilitators, as stability in Afghanistan is also in interest of Pakistan. Chaudhry Mohammad Sarwar said that Pakistan armed forces rendered unprecedented sacrifices in war against terrorism. On his part, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani said that Afghanistan's relationship with Pakistan will strengthen with the passage of time. He termed that meetings with Prime Minister Imran Khan and other leaders were successful. Provincial ministers and other high-ranking officials also attended the luncheon. Deputy Speaker, National Assembly Qasim Khan Suri has reiterated Pakistan Parliament's support to the cause of Palestinian liberation. He said this during a meeting with a three-member delegation led by President of Al-Quds Parliament, Hamid Abdullah Hussain Al-Amr, in Islamabad today. Strongly condemning the atrocities and worst human rights violations by Israeli forces, the Deputy Speaker said Pakistan always stood with Palestinian people in the hour of adversities and atrocities by Israeli expansionist regimes. He said international community should exert pressure on Israel to end oppression and worst human rights abuses against the innocent Palestinian people, especially women and children. He said liberation of Kashmir and Palestine were long-standing unresolved issues that needed to be taken holistically and collaborative efforts at international level. He also condemned the forceful recognition of Jerusalem as Israeli capital. President of Al-Quds Parliament, Hamid Abdullah Hussain Al-Amr, appreciated the support Parliament and Pakistani people have been extending for the just cause of Palestine. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred one more Kashmiri youth in Budgam district today. The troops martyred the youth during a violent cordon and search operation at Gonchakpura in Nogam area of the district. Meanwhile, in occupied Kashmir, a delegation of Jammu and Kashmir People's Movement has expressed solidarity with the chairperson of Muslim Khawateen Markaz, Yasmin Raja, in Pampur today. Yasmin Raja had recently returned from New Delhi after appearing before the India's infamous National Investigation Agency in a false case registered against her. The leaders on the occasion said that India is using all tactics to harass the resistance leadership engaged in a peaceful struggle for securing the right to self-determination for the people of Kashmir. Bahrain has recalled its envoy to Iraq after protesters stormed its Baghdad embassy and took down its flag in a protest against US-sponsored workshop in Manama on Palestine. According to the sources, some 200 protesters also burned Israeli flag while hoisting the flags of Iraq and Palestine in a demonstration outside Bahrain embassy in Baghdad. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bahrain, in a statement, condemned the attack on the Bahrain embassy in Iraq. The annual summit of the Group of 20 Nations is underway in Osaka. The summit will discuss issues pertaining to the global economy, multilateral trade and development. To his welcome address, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called on the G20 leaders to use all policy tools to drive global economy. And now, cricket. In the ICC World Cup against South Africa at Shetland Street, Sri Lanka were 194 for 8 in 48 overs a short while ago. South Africa won the toss and elected to field. FM 101 channel of Radio Pakistan is airing live updates of all matches during its transmission. And finally, the weather report. Mainly hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very hot in plain areas of Punjab and Sindh during the next 24 hours. However, dust, thunderstorm, and rain with gusty winds is expected at isolated places in Malakand, Hazara, Kohat, Bannu, Rawalpindi Division, Islamabad, Karachi, and Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.